This is a rare Ethiopian Orthodox Bible manuscript, handwritten in Ethiopia's sacred liturgical language.
And inside it lies a secret. Everything we think we know about the most famous story in history is incomplete. For 2,000 years, the Western world has read a version of Scripture with entire chapters missing.
The Ethiopian church took all of this literature, which included literature that nobody considered Scripture at the time, and they appear to have just been non-discretionary and included everything.
We were told the story ended at the empty tomb. Ethiopia never accepted that. While Europe divided, edited, and censored, the Ethiopian church gathered every surviving text, scrolls, testimonies, prophecies, and preserved them all. No filtering, no political committees, just raw tradition. Thousands of miles from Rome, hidden in stone monasteries cut into cliffs, monks guarded a Bible with 81 books, not 66. And within those extra pages is a resurrection narrative so strange, so vivid, that it reshapes our understanding of God, of death, and of the human soul. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church holds the largest biblical canon in the world, 15 books more than the Protestant Bible, and 8 more than the Catholic canon. And these aren't random additions. These are ancient works, once beloved by the earliest Christians, before the West banned them. The Book of Enoch, the Book of Jubilees, the Maccabean, texts Rome dismissed as myths, until science proved otherwise. When researchers radiocarbon dated the Garima Gospels, the results stunned scholars. 330 to 650 AD. That makes them the oldest illustrated Christian manuscripts on the planet. While Europe collapsed into the Dark Ages, Ethiopian monks were preserving Christianity's original source code. So what do these forbidden books actually say?
The Book of Enoch is the headline. Not a simple prelude to Noah, but a cosmic dossier. It doesn't just say humanity sinned, it describes a supernatural invasion. 200 watcher angels descend on Mount Hermon, take human wives, and create hybrid giants called Nephilim. The text names each fallen leader, Samyaza, Azazel, Barakiel, and accuses them of teaching humanity forbidden technologies, metallurgy, enchantments, cosmetics, astrology. This wasn't sin, this was unauthorized technology transfer. Rome despised it, too wild, too supernatural, too dangerous, so the West erased it. Ethiopia did not. But Enoch is only the beginning. The real shock lies in a text called the Mashafakidan, the Book of the Covenant. Here, the resurrection is not a brief epilogue. Christ remains for 40 days, delivering a secret briefing that bypasses church hierarchy entirely. He teaches the disciples the language of birds, the laws of the elements, and reveals that the final battle of the last days will be a war not of armies, but of frequencies and spirits. It is mystical, urgent, personal, empowering. According to Ethiopian monks, the 81-book canon is the narrow gate, the path for those ready for the full weight of truth. The 66-book Western Bible, the wide path, a simplified version, safe for the masses. And that forces a terrifying realization. If Ethiopia holds the unedited Bible, then the rest of the world has been reading the censored one. But the greatest shock comes from the 40-day teachings of the risen Christ. In the Western Gospel of Luke, these days pass in a blur. In the Ethiopian text, they are the climax. Christ warns the disciples of a cosmic deceiver, the builder of shadows, who rules the world of money, empires, and institutions. He tells them, Do not build temples of stone, they will crumble. Build the temple of the heart, for it is eternal. This isn't metaphor, it's a command, a rejection of institutional religion. He predicts men in long robes will use his name to hoard gold. He warns of a future Rome that will turn his cross into a sword. It sounds less like prophecy and more like a historical preview of the Crusades, Inquisition, and modern megachurches. He explains humanity has two winds, the wind of life and the wind of error. The wind of error is not sin. It is described like a parasite. It enters through greed, through the eyes, through lies spoken by the tongue. It calcifies the heart and turns a person into a walking tomb, alive on the outside, spiritually dead within, a zombie apocalypse of the soul. And the cure? Not rituals, not tithes, knowledge, gnosis, self-awareness, watching one's thoughts like a guard at a gate. This teaching was unacceptable to Rome. A self-aware believer does not fear emperors or bishops. A believer who carries the kingdom inside their own body cannot be controlled. The Book of the Covenant also describes ancient cosmology with eerie accuracy, the storehouses of the snow, the gates of the winds, the abyss of waters beneath the earth. Modern science has confirmed global atmospheric rivers and a massive underground ocean locked within the Earth's mantle. If the text was right about those, what else is it right about? Christ's final warning is the most chilling. The darkness will come, and it will wear my face. Not a monster, not a beast, a counterfeit Christianity. But the story doesn't end with books. It leads to the most guarded relic on earth, the Ark of the Covenant. Every Ethiopian, pastors, scholars, peasants, believed the real Ark rests in Aksum inside a sealed stone chapel, not as a myth, but as a national truth. According to the Kebra Nagast, the Ark was stolen from Jerusalem by Menelik I, son of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, and brought to Ethiopia 3,000 years ago. The Ark wasn't just a relic, it was a weapon. It leveled mountains, burned armies, and caused lethal sickness to those who approached improperly. Radiation? Energy discharge? We don't know. What we do know is that every guardian of the Ark goes blind, grows weak, and dies young. Why would a wooden box do that? Hitler tried to find it. The Knights Templar searched for it. They carved their symbols into the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela, where legends say angels helped carve entire cathedrals out of solid volcanic stone in just 24 years. Modern engineers say it should have taken centuries, yet there is no debris, millions of tons of vanished stone. Some say the Ark was used as a power source. Beneath Lalibela, 3D scans have revealed hollow chambers untouched for 800 years. What lies beneath? But Ethiopia's greatest mystery isn't stone, it's blood. The Solomonic dynasty ruled Ethiopia from 900 BC until 1974, a direct genealogical line from King David. Haile Selassie, the last emperor, was the 225th monarch of this line, the conquering lion of Judah. Genetic studies show massive Levantine DNA entering Ethiopia 3,000 years ago, proof that people from ancient Israel migrated there. Ethiopia didn't convert to Christianity, it inherited it. Their Christianity is a hybrid of Old and New Testaments, circumcision, Sabbath-keeping, dietary laws, exactly what the earliest church looked like before Rome reshaped it. Some remote traditions speak of a healer from the north during the 1st century, the righteous teacher. Could Jesus have sought refuge among his own distant kin? If the living Jesus survived, Ethiopia was the safest place on earth. It was the only land outside Judea ruled by the house of David. And now, after centuries of silence, the Ethiopian texts are emerging. On the internet, in leaked translations, in YouTube recommendations. Why now? Because, according to the Book of the Covenant, the last days would be marked by a world trapped in webs of illusion. People speaking without mouths, seeing without eyes, a connected world that feels real, but isn't. The internet, digital life, artificial intelligence. The prophecy reads like a description of our exact moment. After 2,000 years, the seal is broken. The hidden books are waking up. The watchers are returning. And the world is finally asking the question Ethiopia has known all along. Have we been reading the edited story, while the full truth waited in the mountains of Africa? Implications of this discovery. If the Ethiopian Orthodox biblical tradition truly preserves texts, teachings, and historical claims older than the Western canon, then the implications are enormous. It means our modern understanding of early Christianity may be radically incomplete. Instead of a streamlined, institution-friendly faith shaped by Rome, the Ethiopian manuscripts hint at a version that is older, more mystical, and far less controlled. One rooted in direct spiritual knowledge, cosmic conflict, and the inner transformation of the believer. The presence of texts like Enoch, Jubilees, and the Book of the Covenant suggests that early Christians engaged with ideas about fallen angels, hybrid beings, spiritual technology, and esoteric teachings that were later suppressed, not because they were false, but because they were difficult to regulate. If genuine, these writings challenge the authority of traditional canon formation, raising questions about who decided what counted as scripture and why. Archaeological and scientific confirmation of the antiquity of Ethiopian manuscripts further destabilizes long-held academic assumptions. It suggests Ethiopia didn't simply preserve Christianity. It may have preserved a version closer to its original form. Ultimately, this discovery forces scholars, theologians, and historians to reconsider the story they thought they understood. It reopens debates about Jesus' teachings, early Christian diversity, and the hidden chapters of spiritual history long kept in the highlands of Ethiopia.